Fabrizio Romano has provided some huge Celtic transfer news. We will go over this story in today's video, whilst of course going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic are set to miss out on winger Louie Barry, with Sky Sports' Lyle Thomas reporting that the player is expected to join Sheffield United on loan in the next week. The 22-year-old had been on Celtic's radar this summer, but a move to the English Championship now looks more likely. Barry started his career at West Brom before moving to Barcelona and then Aston Villa. Over the last couple of years, he's had several loan spells in the English lower leagues where he's caught the eye with his pace and attacking ability. His performances have attracted interest from both England and Scotland, with Celtic believed to be one of the clubs keeping tabs on him. Despite the links, no deal has materialised from the Hoops. Brendan Rodgers is still looking to add more firepower out wide, but it looks like Barry won't be part of those plans. Sheffield United are said to be leading the race for the winger and are close to completing a loan move. Sheffield United spent last season in the Championship and finished third, just missing out on promotion after losing the playoff final to Sunderland at Wembley. The Blades are now aiming to go one better and see Barry as someone who can add creativity and energy to their push for a return to the top flight. Celtic's interest in Barry shows the club's intent to strengthen the wide areas, especially with Nicholas Kuhn leaving for Como and Jota ruled out for the first half of the season through injury. Barry's profile would have fit the bill, but attention will now turn to other potential targets. With the new season fast approaching and Champions League qualifiers on the horizon, Rodgers will be keen to bring in the right players soon. While Barry now looks set for a move south, the Hoops transfer business is far from finished. Now for the main story. Celtic have emerged as one of the clubs showing serious interest in Carlos Forbes, yet now it appears they've lost out to Club Bruges. According to Fabrizio Romano, the winger was set for a move worth around £7.4 million. Romano revealed that Forbes chose to join a Belgian side instead of heading to Scotland, meaning either Celtic or Rangers missed out. Forbes has agreed to join Club Bruges, picking Belgium over interest from Scotland. That choice leaves Celtic out of the picture, having likely chased the Portuguese winger but missing out. His price, fair for his talent, wasn't enough to tempt him to the Premiership. Celtic's recruitment team likely held genuine interest in the attacker, yet it seems that other factors influenced his decision. With the deal almost complete, thoughts now shift to whether Brendan Rodgers' side can identify a comparable alternative before the transfer window closes. Losing out on a target like Forbes might sting, especially with Nicholas Kuhn having left the club last Friday. Forbes would have been a strong replacement option, offering pace and direct attacking threat. Still, the move shows Celtic are actively pursuing promising young talent. The hunt for a new winger will now need to accelerate, with options likely being explored across Europe as well as within the club's own development ranks at Lennox Town. As the summer transfer window approaches the business end, Celtic face a choice. Forbes departing for Belgium is a reminder that even well-priced deals with clear potential can slip away. Attention now turns to who Brendan Rodgers and Paul Tisdale will target next to strengthen the squad. In other news, Paulo Bernardo has rejoined the Celtic squad in Portugal after Portugal's under-21s were knocked out of the European Championships. The midfielder was pictured at the Estadio Nacional on Monday alongside Brendan Rodgers' squad as pre-season preparations continue on the continent. Bernardo featured in all four of Portugal's games at the tournament before their campaign came to an end with a 1-0 defeat to the Netherlands in the quarter-finals on the 21st of June. The 23-year-old has now linked up with his club teammates on home soil, where Celtic are continuing their warm weather training camp. The sight of Bernardo back among the group will be a welcome one for Rodgers, who is overseeing his third pre-season since returning to the club in 2023. His presence in Portugal signals that he's in contention to be involved in Celtic's upcoming friendlies, with Rodgers expected to rotate heavily as players build fitness and fight for places ahead of the new season. Celtic's trip to Portugal is a key stage of their pre-season schedule, with matches and intense training aimed at sharpening the squad for the competitive fixtures to come. Bernardo, back in familiar surroundings, now has the chance to cement his place in Rodgers' plans with the new campaign fast approaching. In other news, Celtic are reportedly exploring a fresh development partnership with Ayr United, managed by club legend Scott Brown, as initial plans for a long-term link-up with Queen's Park fall away. Talks had been ongoing between Celtic and Queen's Park, but with the Glasgow side facing a financial reset, any future tie-up now looks unlikely. The Spiders are reportedly cutting spending drastically from a reported £5.7 million annually down to around £1 million as major backer Lord Willie Horthy and City Facilities Management prepare to pull out. With Queen's no longer a viable option, Celtic have turned to Ayr United. Jude Bonnar could be the first player to make the move to Somerset Park under the proposed cooperation agreement. The SFA have sanctioned new rules this summer, allowing Scottish clubs to form official development partnerships, giving young players between the ages of 16 and 21 more regular access to senior football. Up to 3 players can be registered on a cooperation list and move freely between clubs, offering vital match experience without the rigidity of traditional loan deals. Celtic's push to find the right partner mirrors moves elsewhere in the SPFL. Aberdeen have already teamed up with Elgin City and Kelty Hearts, while St Mirren have linked with Dumbarton and Clydebank. Hibs are working with East Kilbride, and Rangers are expected to partner with Wraith Rovers. A partnership with Ayr would reunite Celtic with former captain Brown and offer promising young Hoops prospects the opportunity to play regularly in the Championship. Talks remain ongoing as Celtic look to finalise arrangements ahead of the new season. Lastly, Motherwell boss Jens Berthel Askew has made it clear he won't be adding anything more to the ongoing talk about Lennon Miller's future. The young midfielder who's caught the eye this summer has been linked with clubs abroad and a potential switch to Celtic. Interest in the 18-year-old continues to grow, especially after he missed Motherwell's Premier Sports Cup win over Clyde. That absence led to fresh questions about his situation. Askew has been fairly open up to this point, but ahead of Tuesday night's game against Peterhead, he drew a line under the speculation. He made it known that the focus now needs to be on football, not transfer stories. He had this to say: "I think there's been enough said about Lennon's situation for now. We have a game on Tuesday, and I think that's the most important thing for us to focus on. I know and I understand and we appreciate all the interest there is around Lennon and his future and Motherwell as a football club. But I think for us right now, it's time to say, let's look at it when something specific and concrete comes up and when we're ready to inform." That's the last thing I will say now in terms of commenting on Lennon. And in general, when we have interesting players that might take the next step, we're not looking for fast and quick solutions. We're looking for the right solutions for the players and for the club long term. Sometimes things move fast, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. That's not always up to us to decide or to control. The market is lively, sometimes it's crazy, and sometimes clubs are waiting or players are waiting for the right move, he concluded. Askew's decision to shut down any further questions about Lennon Miller hasn't stopped the speculation around a possible move to Celtic. The Hoops have long been credited with interest in the highly rated teenager, and the fact he was left out of the Clyde match only fueled those links. However, Askew's comments suggest that nothing is imminent. His refusal to speak further on the matter could mean a deal is quietly in the works, but it's just as likely that Motherwell are holding firm and want to keep control of the process. From Celtic's perspective, the need to bolster their midfield depth is no secret, and Miller would fit the profile of a longer-term project who could be developed at Lennox Town. But if Motherwell are digging in, it might not be straightforward. Rodgers and the recruitment team will likely be weighing up whether to push for a move now or let things play out and test the waters later in the window. Askew's stance, cooling the noise and stressing patience, could be aimed at keeping the pressure off Miller while the club assesses its options. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.